Hey everybody, Heather here. So today we are going to be coloring this super adorable Stampin' Bella image called Blossom Loves Balloons. She's from the new Tiny Townie collection that they just put out. Isn't she adorable? I loved all of those, so we'll be coloring some more of these in the near future. This image also comes with this adorable little birthday girl's sentiment. I love that. It's very girly looking. So I'll put a link down in the description box to the card kit and all the supplies I used. I would love for you to come shopping with me. Also, if you like the video, hit the like button so I know to make more. And if you're not a subscriber yet, do that so you'll know when I upload a new video. So I have already stamped my image on Neenah 80-pound Solar White cardstock with Memento Tuxedo Black ink. So let's color. So let's start out by outlining our image with BG 000 and B quadruple 0. So I'm going to start with my BG 000, and I just want to add this where I want to have some shadows, some darker shadows. So let's go up here underneath my little balloons, and we're going to put a little bit of color in here. Kind of let that fade off over there in the side. I better make a little bit over here too. And then for my girl down here, I'm going to go underneath of her arm. And let's do underneath of her dress. Add a little bit of color there. And I'm also going to go down the back of her dress and the inside of this leg. And maybe a little bit underneath of this little pigtail she's got here. Okay, and then I'm going to take my B quadruple 0 and I'm going to go around the entire thing. So let's just start down here at the bottom of her foot. And I'm going to cover up all that color I just laid down and just add some more color out here on the edge. And I'm going to do these little strings. I'll come back and do those strings when I come back around here. So I'm just going to go all the way around outside, and you can make your line as thick or as skinny as you wanted. And I'm going to go down these strings and work my way around to her other foot. And their arms are really skinny, her fingers there are really skinny, so I just kind of blobbed over the top of those. When we color the skin color, we won't see it anymore. And back down around to this side. And I went around the outside of my image with some Ranger Distress ink and tumbled glass to fill in some of my white space there. So let's head down here and we'll work on our skin. For that, we're going to use E11, E21, E00, and for our cheeks, I'm going to use R20. So I'm going to start with my E11. And let's give her little arm here a little dab. I'm going to go right next to her hair. Back down to her shirt there. And then we're going to get this arm. And she's got a little cute little neck there. And I want to add a little color next to the edge of her bodice. And I'm just barely using the tip of my pen, because she's got, those arms are really dinky. And I'm going to bring this color down around to a little ruffle there. I'm going to grab E21 next, and we'll add a little bit of color on her arm. Up here, we'll add a little bit more up here. Flick some color away from that last line, and I want to go all the way around her face. And I forgot her little ear. She's got a little ear right here. So let's add a little bit of our color in there. Then I'm going to fill it in with my E00. Let's go up here and touch down on her hand. put some color on her face. Then I'm going to take R20 and give her a little bit of cheek color. So I try to go underneath here, underneath of her eyes. A little circle, and over here we'll give her a little circle. And then I'm going to take E00 and lightly go over those, just to soften them a little bit. Now let's do her hair. For that we're going to use N9, N7, and B37. I'm going to start with my N9, and I'm going to pretend that her hair, she's got a little streak right here on her hair. I'm going to make that go clear over here to this side. So let's just go ahead and draw that in a little bit. So I kind of have a little guide to go by there. And then I want to just do some streaks from her ponytail. So I'm just going to add some color up here where her ponytail is. And then I want to add a few little streaks in her little curly Q ponytail she's got going on up here. The same over here. Let's go ahead and do a couple of them there. And then for her bangs right here, I'm going to add some streaks in here. And I'm trying to keep my lines pretty skinny and streaky. That's even a word. And I think I'll add a little bit over here by her ear. And maybe a few coming off of this little roots or her little bangs there. Okay. Now I'm going to go with N7. Same thing, I just want to add some more color in here. So I'm going to go up here and add some more color to my little curly Qs. Let's get a little bit over here on these curly Qs. And then we just want to add some more streaks. I think I'll add a little bit more up here. And I'm going to go with B37 to add some blue in there. Try to be careful up here in my little curly Qs. Fill those in. Same over here. Let's get our little curly Qs over here. And it's got a few more white streaks. So I think I'll add a little bit more blue in here. And I think I'll leave a few little white streaks in there this time. Let's hop down here and do her socks next. For that, we're going to use W2, W0, and W9. So I'm going to take my W2 first, and I'm going to go underneath of her ruffle of her skirt and down the inside of her foot. And I don't care that I covered up those dots. This side we're going to go underneath of that of her skirt and then down the back side of her foot. And then I'm going to fill it in with W0. And then I'm going to take W9 and do the dots. And you have to be careful doing the dots because those are pretty small. You just want to barely touch your paper with your pen just to give it a quick dab of color. Now let's do her shoes and her dress. For that we're going to use BG 09, 57, 13, and 11. Let's go ahead and start down here to her shoes with BG 09. So I'm going to give them a little bit of color here along the bottom. Same for this side. Just a tiny dab. I'm going to take BJ 57 next and add a little bit more. And then BG 13. And BG 11 to fill those in. And we'll hop up here and we're going to do the inside of her dress. So I'm going to start with, again, my BG 09. And let's add a little bit of color up here on next to the ruffle of her sleeve. And same for this side. And if you go over the dots, it's no big deal because we are going to paint those black. Then I'm going to use these little lines she's got for her ruffle already, or her pleats on her dress already up here. I'm going to exaggerate those. And then down here, let's go ahead and make a couple of little pleats down here. Let's go up there, and let's do one right here. And maybe one over here. Whoops, dropped my pen there. Okay, then we're going to have BG 57. And we add a little bit more color going over that last line. And let's go down here. I want to go over this one. Go underneath this flower there a little bit. Then I'm going to go with BG 13 next. And I don't have much room up here on the bodice, so I'm going to go ahead and just fill that all the way in. And then we're going to come down here, and we're going to fill in some more of our space down here. And again, I'm not worried about filling in some of these spots there where our flowers are because we're going to color those in with a really dark color, so I'm not worried if I go over those. I'm trying not to get the color into the centers of these flowers so that they will be, because they're going to be pink. Okay, and then I'm going to pick up my BG 11 and I'm going to touch it to my 13. And we're going to fill in some of this side area here and let it run out and come a little bit lighter out here on the edge. Up here, let's go ahead and fill in some of that. Next, let's work on the ruffles and the flowers of her dress. For that, we're going to use RV34, R85, R83, and RV11. So I'm going to start with RV34, and we want to add a little bit of shadow right next to the blue part of her dress on both of the little ruffles of her sleeve. And then down here, I'm going to, for these flowers, I'm going to go around the center flower. And I'm going to exaggerate the lines that are already on there for me, like right here. over here there's not a center flower, so I'm just going to go down the edge and add a little bit of color there. And then for the ruffle, let's go right next to the bottom of the dress. Right, and I'm going to go with R85 next. And we're going to add a little bit more color to our ruffles. So you want to touch down on top of R34 and spread it out a little bit. Squiggling my pen around in there, not being too careful. Next I'm going to grab R83. Same thing, we just want to add some more color. More squiggling in there. And then I want to fill it in with my RV11. Add a little bit down here. Fill in the last of those little flowers. Now I want to fill in my accents on my dress with N9. So let's go up here and do these little dots first. And remember, do it quick, because when you touch your paper, it's sucking up ink. Otherwise, you'll have these huge, huge dots. And then down here, we're going to do these cute little accents. That's why I wasn't worried about coloring over them, because they're going to be black. And then we're going to do the outside edge of our flower. And I also, if you don't use these dark colors, I don't use very much, so I pulled the other end of my cap off so it wouldn't make a big blob on my paper, just in case it was too wet. Sometimes it just leaks if I haven't used it enough. And we don't want to do that. That makes a mess. Let's work our way around to the other side. And there's a few little accents right here. We want to get those. And over here. And this cute one here in the middle. You can also do this if you didn't want to do it with your Copic marker. You could use, if you have a Spica glitter pen, you could use the black in that around these flowers. That would look really pretty. All sparkly and shiny. Let's hop up here and do the balloons next. So I'm going to, you can color your balloons any color you want, but I'm going to color these two bottom ones in a blue-green. So I'm going to use BG 09, 57, 13, and 11. And I'm going to start with my BG 09. And I'm going to color in the little bottom part. And then I'm going to come up the edge of my balloon here, but I also want to flick this over just a little bit so it's not quite such a hard line. And same down here, I want to fill in the little bottom part, and then we're going to bring this color. I'm going to draw a line first so I don't draw, hopefully when I flick it, it doesn't go outside the lines. So like this, and then I'm going to bring this color in a little bit more. Then I'm going to grab BG 57. So I'm going to start up here. Let's do this side. I'll add some more color in here. And then I'm going to go with BG 13. And then I'm going to grab BG 11. And I'm going to grab some of my BG 13 on my BG 11. And I'm going to fill in this bottom balloon. And then up here, we're going to add a little bit of color on the edge. Use up all our color, and then come in with just the 11 and fill in that very edge. For the next two balloons, let's use E93, YR61, and YR20. I'm going to start with my E93, and we're going to add that color to this next two balloons. And we're covering the bottom here. And then I want this color to come up. And I'm going to go with YR61. And then we're going to fill it in with YR20. I think I'll go down this time so I don't brush outside the lines. So that leaves us with the pink balloons. For that, we're going to use RV34, R85, R83, and RV11. Let's go up here, the top one with RV34 first. And I'm just going to brush a little bit right along that edge. And then for this balloon over here, I'm going to do the bottom. And then this color I want to bring up a little bit more because it's behind these other balloons a little bit. I'm going to bring it up like that, and then we're going to bring this color around over there. I'm going to grab R85. And we'll do this top one. And then we'll go with R83. Add some of that over here. And then RV11 to fill that in. So here is our beautiful Blossom Loves Balloons all colored up. Isn't she adorable? And again, here's the finished card. So on my card, I added some Stickle Stardust to her ruffle down here, on her sleeves and her dress, and then on these little flowers. And then I used my Sharpie white paint pen for her cheeks. Again, shake that with the lid on. And then up here for the balloons, I put some Wink of Stella brush and clear on all the balloons. And then I used my Uniball white paint pen to add some lines and dots to my balloons up here. And then these cute little hearts that you get in your kit are white. I used BG13 and BG11 to color them, but you could color them any color you wanted. And then I put some white dots on each of the hearts, and then I added some glossy accents on top so they're all shiny and sparkly. So I hope you had fun coloring with me today. If you have a question, leave me a comment and I'll get back to you. Otherwise, we'll see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.